what it is, what it do. You already know who it is. Back with another oh boy episode of Katawa Shoujo. So, on the last episode, we had some bedroom fun with Emmy, and Rin was a surprise guest. I told you things were going to go down for real, and I wasn't lying. In this episode, if I remember things correctly, this episode is going to be no exception either. In fact, I think this episode might be just a little bit crazier than last episode. So if you're excited for that, be sure to hit the like button and stay tuned because, oh boy, it's about to get real. She is indeed waiting for me when I arrive, doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Emmy frowns and shakes her head.
Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept, Hisao? All tuckered out?
Well, at least she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night? I nearly thought I had to see the nurse afterwards. Emmy laughs out loud, and her face suddenly becomes concerned.
Hey, that's not, you're not...
Go on, spit it out.
It's just that it would have been hard for you to explain if you had an episode while we were...
Oh. It's like, oh. It's like, shit, you're right. He's like, he goes to the nurse, he's like, Emmy calls the nurse, he's like, Hisao. And the nurse is like, so, what happened here? He's like, well, we were,
doing stuff, and Hisao got a little too excited.
He's like, I see, you two were doing stuff, and Hisao got too excited, huh? It's like, that would be pretty awkward. It's like that one show that's like sex put me in the ER or something like that. It's never fun having to explain your personal business to a medical professional. Now that she mentions it, it really is a legitimate concern. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night. Of course, other more pressing concerns have been at hand, like how much fun hitting it from the back really is. Oh boy! Well, I didn't think anything we do is going to be more of a strain than these morning runs, and I handled those fine, so... Emmy considers this point. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh God help us. Oh God help me. That face. As soon as he said that, she's like, oh God. Oh God help us. That's a dangerous look on her face right there. That's a dangerous look, ladies and gentlemen. That's a especially to my gentlemen out there, this is a dangerous look. If you see a girl look at you like this, gentlemen, be very afraid. Be excited, but also be very afraid. A devious light appears in her eyes, saying, The light vanishes, and Emmy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. You should. She's planning something.
I've seen I've forgotten a pair of gloves.
What do you need gloves for? Emmy indicates the chair upon which she is sitting.
For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is all well and good without them. I want to be able to get a good workout. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves on if you don't want blisters.
So what? Are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to go it alone? Sounds an idiot. For a moment, Emmy thinks for a moment, or pretends to think.
If I remember correctly, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed.
Oh, microphone! Oh, microphone! Oh, microphone! I know where this is heading. Oh, microphone! So she does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform? I'd have expected her to wear her gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing there? Emmy looks askance at me.
Seriously? You don't know why a shed full of track supplies at a school for disabled would have racing gloves?
Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense.
Hey, I'm still getting used to this place.
Give me a break, huh?
I guess I can let it slide this time. You're lucky you're cute. Now, come on. I need your help.
I can't imagine what for, but then again, I don't have a clue why racing gloves will be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. She's like, no, let's go to the shed because I need to find some racing gloves. Allegedly, you know, it's just so happens to be there, you know. It's a quaint little shed. Amy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kind of cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it would be easier for me than for her. The door opens and Emmy starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the door. It seems the door is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She makes a few runs at it unsuccessfully before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object.
Stupid wheelchair. Miss Sal, can you give me a hand here?
Sure, no problem. He just starts clapping, he's like... he just starts clapping just to be a dick. It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the door, jostling her slightly.
Hey, easy there.
Whoops, sorry. It's about that time I fail to notice where I'm going and run Emmy's chair into a mat.
Eek!
She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence where I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emmy glares at me.
Miss Sal?
Yes?
Promise me you'll never work at a hospital.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emmy giggles and holds up a hand.
Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hisao?
As I bend down to pick up Emmy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned with getting her back into that chair. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out the door, which startled by the passage swings shut. Oh! Oh god, okay. Oh god, that scared me. Oh, there they are again. Oh, they're out and about. Okay, well, obviously, if it wasn't clear enough, I'm sorry. I thought I'd have a little more warning before this happened. Just gonna be some steamy stuff that happens. Very steamy. I mean, so steamy that that your computer screen should be covered with like condensation. If you want to skip it, I completely understand. I'll put a timestamp so you can skip it and get right to the point where we can just avoid all this. But if you want to proceed, I strongly advise you do so under your own volition. Parental discretion is advised. What is about to take place is not meant for people under 13 years of age, and I'm going to be flogged hand and fist by YouTube unless I think of something creative to do here for this. So, God help me. But this should be fun for those of you who want to stick around and watch. So, let's play. Well, at least we've got privacy now, which is a good thing as my hands work quickly to remove Emmy's blouse and skirt. My nigga wastes no time. My man. I start I'm starting to discover that she's forgotten to put a bra on today. Did she plan this? Yes. Yes, Isao. She planned this from the start. Yes. Her arms hook under mine and rest on my shoulders as I kiss my way down Emmy's neck, pausing to give special attention to a spot right where the neck meets the shoulder that I found last night.
You've gotten pretty good at it.
I do try. Emmy pushes on my chest, insistently, and I draw back with a puzzled expression.
I've got a confession, Hisao.
Oh? Having pulled back, I decided to focus my attention on her breasts. As she attempts to speak, her words are interspersed with giggles that I find incredibly cute.
And she's like, I know, he actually, wear gloves.
My own reply is rather mumbled into her chest, like instead of being addressed in her face. Sure, no, but I mean, I don't really care about that. I'm just, I'm having fun right now. Just let me have fun. Words quickly become irrelevant. It's just nothing really matters right now. We're both having a grand old time. That's all that matters right now. Emmy's movements are almost frantic, and she's been holding something back. As if she's been holding something back since we met this morning, and she now has an outlet. I'm nearly caught off guard by her aggressiveness, feeling her nearly rip my shirt off by the way she seems to divide to be in a dominant position. For my part, I confess that I'm caught up in her attitude as well, fighting back, rolling and wrestling even as I caress her breast, even as her fingers dig into my shoulders. I lose track of where we are. Oh, we get a better look at her now, I suppose, since they zoom out. I like the sprite. It's a very grungy, but I guess appropriate setting for two high school students. Emmy's in good shape. Yeah, she's in good shape. That's all I got to say. She's in good shape. Or that's all I'm going to say, rather. So much so that I roll right off the mat and land on something small and rather hard. Ow! Emmy's still flushed and breathing a little heavily, peers at me and bursts into laughter.
I'm sorry. Are you alright?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure what I landed on, though. I reach under my back and pull the offending object out, inspecting it closely. Personal lubricant. Lemon flavored.
Wait, what? Nani o desu?
Amy's eyes shoot upward, and she begins, if possible, to laugh even harder. Somehow I don't think this isn't track related.
Oh man, I know whose that is.
What?
It's the track captain's.
My old nemesis. Or, kinda. I mean, I'm here banging her out. He's not. I didn't know it's his. It appears I've asked a stupid question. Rather, Emmy thinks so.
Because he's the one who told me the traction was a good place for, what did he call them? Clandestine encounters?
Oh? He invite you to one or something? He's like, this nigga's still just asking questions and shit. He's like, so did the track captain do anything with you in here? Emmy, por favor? Emmy bursts into more laughter. I confess the sight of a naked Emmy laughing is oddly beautiful. I feel eagerness to end conversation and get back to what we were doing, despite my rather pointed questioning.
Hisao, the track captain's gay.
And there it is. There it is. We finally figured out why. The hinting that everybody's been making. Of course, I already knew this, but I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody. When Rin was like, yeah, he's gay anyway. And then the nurse was like, I'm pretty certain the two of them were never going to do anything like that. Patient confidentiality patient confidentiality and all that, you know. But now we know the track captain's gay. Huzzah! Hisao had nothing to worry about whatsoever. He is freaking himself out for no reason. Huh. Really? Here I initially thought you two were a couple.
Well, I did have a crush on him when I first joined up, but he wasn't interested, for obvious reasons. Obviously. But we are good friends, I guess. I mean, he told me about all this, you know?
I hesitate to ask. I really do. And really, I do. But I ask anyway. What does he need the, lube for, anyway? What do you think he needs the lube for, you idiot? Like, for fuck's sake, mate! What would a gay dude need lube for? Oh, I don't know. That's how you are sometimes, Sal. You don't think sometimes. For a guy as smart as you, you don't think sometimes. I mean, he doesn't. How the hell does Emmy always manage to not blush? Because Emmy's very cavalier about this kind of stuff. That's why she's not blushing. She doesn't care. She has no filter when it comes to talking about sex or anything like that. Or bedroom fun, I suppose.
Obviously, he uses it for, you know, anal.
I'm laughing not because it's funny, but just because just her bluntness with that devious expression is just it's comical. You know, he uses that for a little some backdoor action, some rear entry. I try to suppress a snicker. I fail. No. Amy's giggling too. And he tells you about all this? Emmy shrugs.
Yeah, of course. He's kind of wild about the whole thing.
I mean, not like he has a lot of choices, really. He's kind of limited about how he could have his bedroom fun, so I'm sure he's probably wild about it.
He says it's a feeling that can't be beat.
Oh god, the music's gone. The air in the track shed seems charged with some kind of horrible curiosity. That's interesting. I suppose I'll have to take his word for it.
Well...
Birds outside stop chirping. The wind dies down. Somewhere a man is drinking a cup of coffee. He freezes with the cup at his lips.
We could... maybe... try it.
Oh God! Help us! Help us, please. Save us, God, for we are sinners. Oh no, this old boy. Oh, this is gonna be fun. My jaw suddenly and spontaneously unhinges and hits the floor. What? Emmy, finally blushing, rubs the back of her head ruefully.
Well, it's just that we really can't do what we did last night, you know? It would be it wouldn't be safe, you know? I mean, it wasn't exactly a great idea last night. So, you know, we could try to see if it,
is as good.
Well, yeah, basically.
So basically what they're saying is they did it without protection. Or with like very minimal kind of protection, some fugazi type stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Emmy had to like take the plan B or something like that the day after. If they have plan B in Japan, I don't know. I'm sure they do. Maybe. But this sounds like some fugazi type stuff they were doing, so like a bit sketch. I don't like people doing sketch stuff like that unless they want the consequences that come with that, but Whatever, teach their own, I suppose. Huh. Shit. Fuck. God. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god, help me. Oh no. Shit. Oh god. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh god. Oh, this is ooh, this is interesting. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this for YouTube, but I'll think of something. Think of like Darling in the Franks, yeah? Huh, this is... Forgive me, you will, I'm just like, what am I looking at here? This is... I don't know how to feel about this. This is just wow. Because this is my first time seeing this like this. Because anytime I've ever seen Katawa Shoujo, like it's all been censored, of course, because you can't do this on YouTube. So this is the first time me seeing the scene, uncensored. It's like, bro, yeah. Anyway, forgive me.
Careful.
Are you sure about this? I'm positioned behind Emmy, who is looking back over her shoulder, looking a little flushed. Well, obviously, once we decided to go ahead with this idea, we both had to get back in the mood. That accomplished, we emptied the bottle of lube, and here we are. Yep, here we are, with me reading this to you, the people.
Yes, I'm sure. Come on, before I calm down and think too much about this.
Emmy's breathing is still coming a little heavily, and her response is almost impatient. Well, naturally, you're about to do the rear entry, and that's not common. So it's only natural for her to have second thoughts, maybe third thoughts about this, which is to be expected, I suppose. We're both so close, and this is kind of delaying things. I think we've both gone temporarily insane. At least that's got to be my claim from here on. At least that's going to be my claim from here on out. I try not to think too hard about the specifics of what I'm about to get myself into. There's no way this is going to be very clean. Ugh, ain't that the truth is so. Take a deep breath, take your breath, as much for me as it is for her. I enter slowly. There's a lot of resistance. It was like both our bodies are reluctant to actually go through with it. Oh god, her face. Emmy's face. Emmy's face is priceless. Her face is so funny. Emmy's whole body tenses as if I'm only partial. And as I'm only partially in at this point, it feels surprisingly good, if a bit odd. And Emmy's just like, I've made a terrible mistake. I've made a terrible mistake. Abort. Emmy, on the other hand, looks uncomfortable. You don't say, Hisao. The expression is almost comical. Oh no, no almost. It's extremely comical. Should I stop? Emmy's breath hitches in her throat, and it seems to take a few seconds longer before it should formulate a reply.
No, keep going. It just feels weird.
She giggles. I can't blame her. I'm surprised that I even managed to form a sentence. It's hot. It feels exceedingly odd. The lube glistens unnaturally. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I continue to work my way inside her, working slowly and listening carefully to Emmy's breathing. I reach my limit and pause. Emmy looks back again, biting her lower lip.
Are you going to try moving, or are you just going to sit there feeling silly? Oh, are we just going to sit here feeling silly?
No, I just wanted to give you a chance to adjust. This doesn't make any sense. This is all fucking weird, dude. How did we even end up doing this? How did we even decide to do this? For fuck's sake, mate.
I don't think there's really any adjusting to this, Asano. Try moving. Maybe it'll feel better?
She sounds doubtful, but certainly I'm willing to admit defeat now that we've come so far. Talk about a stick up the butt. I begin the slow motion that seems to work well for both myself and Emmy, as she closes her eyes to attempt to concentrate on this new feeling. As I begin to find a rhythm, I begin to feel that familiar falling away sensation I got yesterday. Oh, my man's just really into it. Oh no. I close my eyes and try to lose myself in the feeling, except it doesn't seem right. Emmy's not making any noise. I've learned quite quickly yesterday that Emmy is somewhat less than quiet when she's enjoying herself. As I open my eyes, I see Emmy trying to get into things, but it doesn't seem to be working for her. Her eyes are closed, she's biting her lip, but it seems to be out of toleration rather than enjoyment. The sort of, well, this is a failure, but hopefully it'll be over soon look. I'm caught in a bit of a situation here. It's time for Plan B. And not that kind of Plan B. In truth, I don't want to stop. But at the same time, and it doesn't seem to be doing much for Emmy, or if it is, it's coming on far slower than I am. I feel bad. I want Emmy to enjoy this too. So, like I said, time for Plan B. Woo! Copperfield. They call me David Copperfield. I reach one hand around to tease Emmy's chest, which startles her. Again, there's that look of I made a terrible mistake. This in turn caused her to tighten around me considerably, causing a wave of pleasure to blindside me. Oh, this sounds about to pass out. I can see it in his face. This sounds ready to pass out. Oh jeez. Oh god. Oh no. Oh god. Oh jeez, Rick. Rick. Oh Rick. My grasp seems to amuse Emmy, but her grin quickly turns to a gasp as I move my other hand casually down her front and begin to stroke gently at the soft patch of hair between her legs. Hot. The motion of my own hips increases as my hand's ministrations to Emmy's front brings back the gasps and yelps that I'm used to. I'm concentrating only on the feeling of my hands, one now slick and sliding, the other on the skin soft and responsive. Goosebumps on her flesh, shivers and sweats, as her own building climax causes her to tighten until finally I can't possibly. No, God, sorry, I'm going to. I give a final thrust. My fingers tense around Emmy's nipples, dive between her legs. Woo! Emmy's back spasms. Emmy's back spasms, and she arches up, a high girlish cry that echoes off the walls. I feel the wave of my own climax annihilate all other sensations on my body. Emmy's arms give out and she falls forward, rather violently disengaging us and pulling something dear to me in the process. Oh no, oh god. Bloop. The sudden switch from pleasure to pain causes me to lose my balance, and I fall forward on top of Emmy. Ow. Ow. I quickly roll off Emmy and prop myself up, breathing heavily and trying to ignore the pain in my crotch. Emmy yelps a bit as she rolls over. She grabs a couple of tissues we kept handy earlier, and cleans up before getting her panties back on and awkwardly leaning against the wall. You're gonna need more than a couple of tissues to clean that up, my dude. That, ooh, god, I don't even want to get in how messy this is. This is just foul. I mean, I guess it's cool, but it's foul. Still breathing heavily, I decide to sit against the wall next to her. The feeling of the cool concrete against my sweating back is a welcome sensation.
That hurt at the end.
Yeah, this was probably not a great idea.
Emmy squirms in order to try and sit down beside me without too much pain.
Judging by her wincing, it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, I'm going to have words with the captain. He was clearly lying.
The utter and absolute ridiculousness of the situation suddenly hits, and I begin laughing. Emmy shakes her head and begins laughing with me.
Hey, Hisao?
Yeah?
We're never doing this again, right?
I'm pretty satisfied with my curiosity on this one. Hashtag most couples after eating. Emmy nods, satisfied.
Good. I think we should stick to the basics, don't you? I mean, most of this is new to me anyway.
1. Good. 2. Get some confidence. What do you mean, most? Emmy grins impishly.
I'll never tell.
Exactly, I'll never tell. An unpleasant thought strikes me. Even more unpleasant is the thought of having to ask Emmy about it. Still, after what we've just done, it should be a cakewalk. Hey, is there a sink? I kind of like to, wash off a little. He's like, no, maybe I gotta put my underwear and stuff back on. It's like, well, it's gonna be all grody and shit, you know. Emmy's jaw drops.
In the sink?
Well, there's not really anywhere else to do it, is there? And I want to avoid a smell that the nurse might notice. This is the most awkward conversation I've ever had to have. And it's just as awkward reading the conversation, so don't you worry. We all feel awkward for you. And I have a feeling that the entire episode is going to be just this.
You're right. Hey, yeah, there's it's on the back wall. There might be some soap too.
Thanks. There is, in fact, a little hand soap, which is better than none. No towels, eh? Guess I'll just have to drip dry. I do a little helicopter action. A little helicopter action to help expedite the process.
All finished?
Yeah, that'll do for now. It's not like I'm gonna take a shower after we see the nurse. Oh, it's not like I'm not gonna take a shower after we see the nurse.
Glad to hear it. Now help me find my clothes. You tossed them somewhere.
Hey, you're no better. How am I supposed to explain that hole in my shirt,
Sorry, I got a little excited earlier.
Oh joy. It takes some time, but we're both more or less clothed. There's a frantic moment where neither of us knew where Emmy's wheelchair is, but I recall it going through the door and rescue it. Alright, welcome back to those who skipped ahead. I'll be honest, you skipped across the majority of this episode, I'm sure, because this is just, oh god, this is just, oh goodness me, I don't know where to begin this, jeez. Let's just say that Emmy and Hisao ended up doing something that they're never going to do again, and made a whole escapade out of it. But let us continue. Now, be more careful going through the door this time, would you? Oh, that was Emmy.
Now, be more careful going through the door this time, would you? Bumps are not my friend right now.
I am so sorry we tried this. Hey, it was a mutual thing. You both tried it. You both went into this not knowing the consequences. And now the chips fell where they fell. Emmy shrugs and grins.
Well, it was worth a shot, right? And anyway, this is good exercise, right?
Can't argue that. I got my heart rate up, no problem. As we make our way to the nurse's office, I notice that Emmy keeps shifting uncomfortably in her seat.
God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, Hisao.
Why's that?
Because now I have to explain to the nurse why I'm walking funny.
Shit! It's like when you hit it so good, she ends up walking funny. Woo! Boy. Oh. We're never doing this again. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Emmy left on my shoulders. Nor does he say a word about Emmy's constant shifting about in her wheelchair. Either he didn't notice, or he didn't want to notice. All the same, I want to make sure he doesn't slip cyanide into my medication for a little while, just to be safe. I shower for longer than usual, just to make sure I'm clean from our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I could probably afford a nap. Knock knock. Who's there? Knock knock. Knock knock who? That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock knock. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? More importantly, what day? I'm suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. Sorry I was in class, I was experimenting sexually with my girlfriend and tired me out. You know, just a regular Tuesday. Yeah, that would go over well. Totally. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I have to answer the door. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me.
What the hell are you doing here, man?
Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding.
Knocked out. I see. Told to be careful around that Ibarazaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. You get worn the fuck out.
He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head.
Did she hit you with something? Or was it a drug?
Stop trying to touch me. Only Emmy can touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines in my eyes.
You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember.
This conversation is going nowhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep.
Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you need to watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's about them stronger men than you know.
What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything. It should knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt she brought down anyone at all. Well, I mean, aside from that incredible A1 box that she has. That'll bring you to your knees real quick. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why.
You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know.
We're friends? I had no idea. That thought was lost upon me. Shit. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. Feels something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I hold out my hand as a sign of peace. Ooh. Gosh, excuse me. Dang. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. Actually, it's very important. That's not important. I disagree. I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need to do something for me in case it don't come back. Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days. They mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom of one of my desk drawers. How do I get in your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? That's what I got in your room. I picked the lock. It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to, do that for you, if you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man. Great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He makes it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to my bed. Guess I should go to class. If you want to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today. And I do want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. I'm sure he'll understand. Knock knock. This time the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Who's there? Me! Aren't you glad? The voice is muffled through the door, but it's unmistakably Emmy's. I open the door, smiling broadly. Well, I think this would be an appropriate place as any to wrap up this episode. I'm sorry if most of this episode ends up being skipped over for those of you who chose to skip ahead. I apologize. There's going to be more story after this, I'm pretty sure. You're not going to have a lot of those scenes. From what I remember, we're not going to have too many more of those scenes now after this. But I don't think I can continue anymore. I'm just kind of exhausted at this point. So, if you did enjoy this episode though, nonetheless, be sure to hit the like button, because that's greatly appreciated for the algorithm. It means a lot to me. It also makes you feel good to know that people are enjoying the content that I put out. In any case, it's been real, it's been fun. It's your boy Jqilin. Ciao for now.